Welcome to True Wellness RX, a lifestyle prescription inspiring you to nourish, move, and connect each and every day for optimal wellness. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode on the True Wellness RX podcast. I'm your host, Hanna Schultz. I am a nutritional therapy practitioner, nutrition coach at Chiro, CrossFit coach at CrossFit Mentality, and now a proud owner of a cafe called Nourish Cafe. Guys, it has been too long for me. I had to take a break from recording these episodes, probably because there was a lot of things going on in October, a lot of things. And I love the podcast so much, and I love recording these episodes for you guys, but something had to give in the moment. And now October is done and over with. I only had a few mental breakdowns, and a lot of that I'm going to update you on real quick. But yeah, I just want to say, if you're tuning in right now and you're someone who's listened to all of my other episodes before, thank you for being patient and coming back to this podcast. I hope to continue to bring lots of value and some inspirational guests on the show. Hopefully I won't have to take any more long breaks, but who knows, life happens. And I feel like you guys, of all people, are very understanding about that. So I don't even know where to start. Okay, well, most importantly, what happened in October. Let's just run through that real quick, because I feel like everything happens at once. So I was studying for my nutritional therapy practitioner exam, and I went and took it in Asheville, North Carolina, where my class and my workshop was, and I passed with a pretty good score. I don't want to brag, but it was pretty good. But that's also because I studied like crazy for it, and I was super stressed out before it. But everything's good now. And so now I'm officially a practitioner, which is so weird to say, but really exciting. And I just feel like this has opened up so many more doors that I can go down and be able to help so many other people now with this route that I'm going in the wellness industry. So definitely stay tuned to hear more about that and what I'll be doing with it. But I've had a few nutritional therapy practitioners on this podcast already, so definitely go listen to their episodes. I just love the nutritional therapy community. They're so knowledgeable, and everyone is so diverse with their own stories, and everyone kind of specializes in something else. So I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I will be doing with it. But that actually leads me to something related to this, which is also another huge announcement. I have officially launched Nourish Cafe. Yeah, I launched a cafe, guys. I did not plan on doing this for another probably 5 years. I mean, this was definitely a big goal of mine, but I did not expect it to come so soon. And it's just funny. I literally just wrote about this in my weekly newsletter that I am now doing again. So if you're interested in that, link in the bio. That's how I update you guys on everything and put it all in one spot. So if you don't catch me on social media, I put everything in this newsletter. And I also do bonus health tips, free workouts, all that stuff. And my little health tip this week was about ditching the perfectionist mindset. And this one has just resonated with me so much, because I would have not launched this cafe if I wouldn't have let go of some of my perfectionism tendencies. The cafe is nowhere where I want it to be. Right now, it's a small little fridge in the CrossFit gym that I coach at, CrossFit Mentality. And, you know, I could have been really hard on myself about, well, it's not a storefront. I don't have a full menu. I don't even have like the actual main dishes yet, etc. And I could have put it off and made excuses why this process had to be prolonged longer. But instead, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to use what I have and start now. And honestly, it's because I surrounded myself with such amazing people and a support system that actually encouraged this opportunity, actually presented this opportunity to me, which is why I took it now, because it was presented to me. And I am all about listening to those gut feelings, and what falls in your path is never a coincidence. So I took that jump, and there are a lot of things in the works with the cafe. I will definitely keep you guys up to date, but I just went and looked at the commercial kitchen that we'll be using for the larger scale cafe, and I am so excited because it has everything I need, and I will definitely tell you guys more about what exactly the cafe is going to be doing. It's not going to be your typical storefront. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what else. Oh, my sister got married, which is crazy, and it's so weird. I just can't believe it. If you would have told me, I don't know, 6-8 years ago that she would be marrying a guy like this, that's so good for her, I don't know. I'm so happy for her, and it's been extremely motivating for me to see such a healthy relationship. Because if you guys have listened to my other episodes, you'll know a little bit about my past and how I'm just working through some trauma of my own. So it's very healing to see healthy relationships like that. So I also had that going on in October. And so that was a lot more of a personal thing, but it was also a big chunk of my time too. And let's see what else. Continuing the Code Fuel nutrition coaching. I think I might have talked about this on the podcast already. So that's the one-on-one nutrition coaching that I do in person at Code Chiro. It's a chiropractic office located in Mayfield Heights. If you're in the Cleveland area and you need one-on-one nutrition help, I got you. I'll put the link down below also. And just now with my nutritional therapy skills, I feel like I can really add a lot of value to working with people one-on-one. And I'm really excited to see what we can do, help you feel better in your body, gain that energy back, weight loss if you want it. But also my main focus is on eating real foods and working on your foundations, which is your digestion, blood sugar, liver, gallbladder, small intestine, fatty acid balance. We go way more deeper into nutrition than just eat your vegetables and restrict your calories. No, there's so much more to it than that, but I could go on a whole tangent. Anyways, I wrote notes here to kind of keep me on track because I knew I would be rambling today because there's so many things. Let's see. Yes. Okay. I also wrote down to talk about my health because that's something that's new. I talked to my functional medicine doctor. I actually had an appointment with him last week, and we went over all of my test results, which I'm really happy I finally got and invested in. So results came back, and no shocker here, I have a really high gluten sensitivity, basically treating it like celiac disease, but it's not an autoimmune condition. So it's just a very high gluten sensitivity. Some also other food sensitivities, but those ones are more likely due to just my leaky gut condition. So when you have leaky gut, you're more prone to food sensitivities because you're reacting to everything at this point. But the gluten has kind of always been there. So what else came back is I have SIBO, which we already knew that. And then parasites, 100% sure. And also candida. So there's a lot of things going on in my gut right now. It's not very happy. I'm doing the low FODMAP specific carbohydrate diet, along with a nutritional protocol. And I would tell you guys what exactly I'm doing as far as supplements go, but sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant about that because every body is so different. And this is why I see so much value in test results, because me, for example, I have methane SIBO. Now there's a thing called hydrogen SIBO that requires something else. So if you're listening to this and you listen to all the supplements I'm doing and then you try it out yourself without even getting tested, you don't really even know what you're treating. That protocol might not work for you. And then you waste your money and you're back to the drawing board, or you're just discouraged and you give up. So this is why I encourage you to really seek out help, whether that's working with a nutritional therapist like me or a functional medicine doctor. But honestly, Sometimes it's just working on the foundations with the nutritional therapist. That might make all the change that you need. And you won't even have to necessarily go down the more expensive route. But again, I was dealing with this for a couple of years now when I finally decided to invest in myself. So happy I did, and that's what's going on. I also have adrenal fatigue, which is no shocker due to the symptoms I was feeling and just energy and oh my gosh, just it was so aware to me. And it's sad that it took a test and a doctor to tell me to slow down, because deep down I really knew I needed to do that. And I've definitely talked about it on the podcast before too. But I'm really taking it serious now because I'm just fed up with feeling like crap. And I know I put my episode on there about getting my period back. That's still happening. I got it for a second time, which I'm really happy about, because after I got it the first time, I was a little nervous that I wouldn't get it again or whatnot. But it came back again, and that's because I am continuing to slow down. So after meeting with my doctor, I've had a huge wake-up call, and I'm basically only doing yoga and body weight exercise for at least the next couple of months, which is a huge change for me. I'm someone who's been lifting a barbell for like 5 years now. So telling me to just do body weight and yoga seems foreign to me. I mean, I obviously did that still, but in addition to my weight training and barbell movements. So that's going to be a little different. And I will definitely do a whole nother episode on that whole journey, because I know there's a lot of you guys listening to this who might be overtraining or have that stubborn weight loss or lack of muscle growth or results. And sometimes when you actually back off and give your body the recovery it needs, you'll get those results. Now, for me, I'm going through a huge gut healing protocol, and I do feel drained a lot because of the antibiotics that I was on and the herbal supplements. I'm killing off so many things inside my gut, and going through this process and adding a outside stressor, a physical stressor, would not help the healing. So there's definitely a time and place for intensive weight training, but I wouldn't say it's every day. Even if you are, super healthy, you want to balance it out with some lower key cross training days. And what I mean by that is the body weight, the yoga, even long walks. But yeah, I'll cover this in a whole nother episode. And just, if you have specific questions, let me know. Or if you relate to this, I just love when you guys reach out to me, and it lets me know kind of what you want to hear more of. So that's what's going on with my health. I'm noticing some changes, not too much. The period coming back has been the biggest thing. But yeah, that's really all the updates. Oh my gosh. Wow. My last update, I'm glad I wrote all these things down, is I am doing my Friendsgiving event. And this is the first event by Nourish Cafe. So the reason I call it Nourish Cafe, let's backtrack a little bit. My business, True Wellness Collective, Nourish Move Connect. Nourish Cafe is the branch of True Wellness Collective. So it's underneath True Wellness Collective. Okay, so now you understand that. And so my intention with Nourish is to be a cafe, but I also want to do Nourish events. And I want these to be seasonal. So I want some in fall, winter, spring, summer, etc. And I was hesitant to do it so soon because I'm just getting it up and running again. But again, the opportunity presented itself. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what? Let's just do it, rip the Band-Aid off and see what happens, even if 5 people show up. So we actually have a good amount of people attending. The Friendsgiving event is going to be located at Harvestville Farm. It's a farm-to-table dinner that I'm preparing myself. It's a 3-course dinner. You'll have appetizers and a salad while I'm giving a short speech. And then we move into dinner where I have all gluten-free, dairy-free treats. And then we move into dessert, which is also gluten-free, dairy-free. So everything in my cafe is gluten-free, dairy-free, as well as seasonal, local, and organic. Those are my values for my cafe. And so my intention for this event was to bring wellness communities together in the local Cleveland area, because I find that we kind of hold ourselves into one group without kind of expanding and meeting other people. When we're all so close in the same general area, you might as well get together, share different perspectives, and enjoy wholesome, nourishing foods. So by the time you're listening to this, it will be this weekend, November 9th, Saturday. It's 4 to 8 p.m. Now the tickets are still on sale if last minute you want to get them. But if it's kind of, I know, short notice for you guys, but I've been posting a lot about it on social media. So if you follow me on Instagram, Holistic Hanna, I also have a Instagram page for Nourish Cafe that you can give a follow now too. But I've been posting a lot about that in there, and I also released it in my newsletter. But if you can't make it, don't worry, there will be more, and definitely more farm to table dinners, because I love that concept, and that's something that I've always wanted to attend myself. So I thought, might as well do it myself, because that's apparently the way I do things. Is if it's lacking, I'll just do it. But yeah, so that's all the updates. A lot of things going on there, but I want to move into my topic for today. Now, there's been two things kind of weighing on myself lately, and it's usually something that I feel has been, I can't explain it, just a message that I need to share, because I feel like someone is always listening to this that needs to hear it. And I've just over and over again this past month have been brought back to the concept of spiritual nutrition. Now, that sounds a little woo-woo, and that's because I am, but I want you to think about it for a second. You know, when I talk about holistic living, I mean, eating the right foods, or the foods that work for you, working out, moving your body, but also having this sense of spiritual practice. Now, that doesn't have to mean that you're doing a prayer or meditation or whatever you might do. It just means fully embodying yourself, and having a bigger outlook than just the superficial life. And in order for that to happen, you have to dive in deeper and ask yourself why you do the things you do. Why do you act the way you do? And without this kind of self-reflection, you won't have good spiritual nutrition. And this is something that I've heard it be talked about in different ways, but this concept has kind of came to me in a different way. I haven't heard someone put it this way before, but it just really resonated with me and has helped me make some changes in my life that I just talked about. Now, I think this has been resonating with me so much is because my nutrition clients that I've been working with, not all of them, but some of them come to me with just a goal in mind, and that's typically weight loss. And now there's nothing wrong with having a physical goal. But whenever someone comes to me with that goal, I want to know, why is that physical goal important to you? There is an underlying meaning behind that goal. There's a deeper reason than I just want to lose 5 pounds. There is always a reason why we want to change. Now, we can work on diet, we can work on working out. I can give you, ideas of what to eat, how to work out. But if there is something weighing on you spiritually, mentally, you're not going to get the results you want. And this is why spiritual nutrition is so important. I will always preach lifestyle along with nutrition. I just don't think that you can address one thing. Perfect example is someone who goes to the gym and works out every day but eats crap food. You're not going to get the results. So why do you think eating all the right foods in the world, but you're a continuous stressed out, anxiety filled person, you're not going to get those results. You're not. And, I've had people come to me with eating disorders or past eating disorders, body dysmorphia, traumatic events in their life. And it's these people that struggle a lot with their health. Their past traumas reflect their health. Studies have shown that cases of autoimmune diseases can be caused by traumatic events and lack of emotional health or spiritual nutrition, the way I'm putting it. And I just want this conversation to be more popularized because I'm so sick of these superficial just diet plans that don't even dive into this person's feelings. All of these marketing strategies are geared towards physical appearances and societal expectations. I don't blame someone for thinking they always have to lose 5 pounds because that's just what's talked about in society. But I'm sure it is talked about, but not as much wanting to improve our spiritual health, our mindset, our mental health. And it's funny because when you work on your gut health, your mental health improves because there's a direct correlation between that. So I want to start to bring that awareness to at least you guys. And then you guys can start spreading that awareness to other people. And some ways that you can start to kind of work on spiritual nutrition is anytime you reach for a food, I want you to pause and ask yourself, am I reaching for this food because it is quote unquote good for me? Or am I reaching for it because my body truly wants it and it's going to nourish my body? Because I have a lot of clients that come in, and I have a feeling there's a lot of you listening to this that get extremely overwhelmed on what to eat because they are told a million different things and they lack that self-awareness, that spiritual nutrition. So they are no longer able to make the choices that will truly resonate with their body and allow them to live their life fully nourished in every way. So the first thing that you could do is not a diet. It's not doing 5 days a week intensive exercise. It's sitting with yourself in those uncomfortable situations and journaling what you are feeling and sitting with that feeling. And then asking yourself, what can I give myself to allow myself to feel truly nourished? And that doesn't have to be a food. I think we think that nutrition is the only way that we can nourish our bodies. But really, there's so many other ways. There's reading a book. There's taking a long walk, calling up a friend, maybe going to get a massage, or putting some essential oils in our diffuser and just taking a nice little nap. There's other ways to nourish ourselves. And I feel like if half my clients actually implemented some of these lifestyle practices and tried to gain spiritual nutrition, some of their other nutritional deficiencies might go away because their body is able to absorb all the nutrients that they're giving their body because it's not in such a stressed out state. And the sense of overwhelm and anxiety might decrease because we have a sense of clarity with where we are right now, because we took that time to self-reflect and learn that in the moment is where we have to be. It's not worrying about the future or the past. It's being here right now, asking ourselves, what do we need? feeling supported by the higher power, whichever one you believe in, or just having some kind of practice, one that resonates with you. And that could be a form of movement, that could be walking, that could be doing yoga. But I think everyone needs some kind of connection to something outside themselves. Because when times get hard, when we get overwhelmed, anxious, you have that thing to remind you that you're not all alone, that you're supported. And I think in a society that feels constantly depleted of human connection, knowing that you are supported and connected to something is really nourishing. So I wanted to talk about that topic. I hope some of that resonated to you. Or if it just sounded like a bunch of hippie rambles, that's fine too. But I feel like that might hit home to a few of you. Now, my other little thing that I want to talk about is this topic. Not letting circumstances define you. Now, if you've listened to my past episodes, great. If you haven't, maybe give them a listen, because I myself have gone through a series of traumatic events, but I was still able to do all of these things in my life that have led me to here now, feeling extremely fulfilled with my work. Yes, I get overwhelmed with the amount that I'm doing, but there is a sense of joy and gratitude for the work that I am able to do. And if you would have told me when I was a traumatized teenager that I was going to be doing all of these things, opening up a cafe, talking to you guys on a podcast, joining the military, becoming a nutrition coach and a nutritional therapy practitioner, I would have not believed you at all. And I shared how I kind of transformed my mindset. And it was when I was going through those really dark moments that I told myself, it does not matter where I was. It does not matter what happened to me, because I'm going to make something of this. There is a deeper reason why I'm going through this. And that mindset is what allowed me to pursue my goals. I didn't have a ton of money. I didn't have support in those moments. I had no idea what I was doing. There was a million reasons why it couldn't have worked. So why did it work? How did I get out of that? How did I get into this mindset? It's because I did not let it define me. There are people out there with far, far more traumatic events than myself that are doing incredible things for our world and inspiring so many people with their story. And so I think we all go through trauma in our life. And I never want my story of trauma to feel like yours isn't anything. Because I've listened to other people's traumatic events and it put a lot of perspective in for me. And then I felt that, well, their story is way worse than mine, so I shouldn't feel bad at all. That is not the case. I want you to feel that, but I want you to keep in mind that, again, it does not define you. I don't care where you were. I don't care where you came from, what you did. Today and the next day and the next day after that is a continuing chance to change your direction. And you might have no idea where to start. But this is, again, where that spiritual side can come in. And knowing that you are always provided for, there is a deeper connection outside yourself that is supporting you and wanting you to pursue something great for yourself, for others. I hear excuses day in and day out from people either I'm helping or just being around. there's so many excuses out there that you can use. I don't have enough time. This is going on. Yada, yada, yada. And I know I've talked about this in other podcasts, but priorities. It's not that you don't have time. It's just not your priority. Now, for me, for example, I had to take a break from this podcast because that wasn't my priority. I could have somehow made time for it if that was at the top of my list. But I'll be very honest with you, graduating nutritional therapy school was at the top of my list. So I had to put this on the back burner for a month. But I knew that I was going to make it work after this month because it was back in my priorities. And this just goes for you too. Whatever your dream is, and it could be something so small. It could be making it to yoga 2 times a week. If you're continuously telling yourself the same story, you're not going to change. If you tell yourself, well, I'm not someone who wakes up at 5:30 in the morning to go to a yoga class, then I 100% guarantee that you're not going to be someone who wakes up for yoga at 5:30 because you keep telling yourself that. And the way I kind of got out of that dark hole is I kept telling myself the story I wanted to be. I have so many old journals with just repeated sentences of what I want my life to look like, what it's going to be. And I wrote it in a way that it was happening now, so I could feel it now. I didn't say when this happens. I said this is happening. This blah, blah, blah is happening now, and I am so grateful for it. This cafe is launching, and I feel extremely supported and grateful. That was a sentence a year ago. Now, granted, I thought that was going to happen 5 years from now, not now, but it just goes to show you that having some faith in yourself, and again, not letting your past define you. I have moments in my life that I know I feel shame around. And a lot of those moments I've shared with you guys, but some not. Some that I still have to work through, and I could definitely let those hold me back. But it's this continuous self-reflection that I have to do on myself every day because life is always hard, even when you still feel connected and supported. It's still hard. And I do the work. I journal. I meditate. And life is not perfect. I had someone talk to me the other day saying, well, I don't have time to go sit around and meditate and do all the things and, that's exhausting. Well, okay. I am an entrepreneur. Yes. I make my own schedule. Yes. That does not mean that I am sitting around all day and meditating and doing yoga and all that. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning and I don't stop working until 10 at night. Yes, I have a break to eat food. I have a break to work out. But that's still about a 12-hour workday for me. Okay? And the way I am able to do this work continuously is I know that there's somewhere where I want to be that I'm not there yet. And that is extremely motivating to me. And I could let my circumstances right now tell my future self, you can't do that. You aren't doing all those things that a successful person should be doing, so you can't do that. I don't have all the resources in the world. I don't. But I'm not letting that stop me from pursuing my goals. I'm in a much better place than 5 or 6 years ago when I had no purpose. But I'm still in a situation where I want to improve. And I could let my time constraints and money, yada, yada, stop me from pursuing these dreams. But again, I'm not letting my circumstance define me. How many times can I say that? I just want you guys to understand that anytime you feel a sense of fear, you're going to tell yourself an excuse. And I've gotten really good at figuring out if it's an excuse or if it's something logical that right now it's just not meant to happen. I have to tune in all the time. Is this a gut feeling telling me no, or is this fear right now? There is a clear difference now. Sometimes it's just not meant to happen right now. And you'll feel that path of resistance, you will. But sometimes that fear feels like a knot in your stomach. Your chest gets tight. And then your mind is just scattering all over the place and you can't focus. That's fear to me. When I feel resistance in my path, it's a feeling of peace and gratitude for where I am right now, and faith and trust that what will happen in the right time. There's a difference. And so with both of these kind of topics today or concepts, I hope that one of them hit home to you, spoke to you, because they're foundational to reaching those goals that you want. I've had people reach out to me telling me, how do you do all of these things? I wish I could do that. This is me telling you that you absolutely 100% can. It's not going to look like my journey at all. Okay, we are all individual, and there is no right way to do one thing. There's no one right way to do one thing. And that means not doing exactly what I'm doing, okay? Making it your own and loving the heck out of it and pursuing it. That's me telling you, you can do it. I feel like there's a few of you that needed that little extra push. So I hope you guys got some motivation from this, some things to think about, maybe journal about. But I will be bringing on some future guests and topics throughout more episodes. But Classic Hanna is running late for something, as always. But I'm glad I got this episode in. And I definitely want to start reading more reviews and ratings. So if you write a review, I will read it on the podcast, just as a thank you so much for listening to this. And if you are someone who's coming back to the podcast, thank you again for taking the time to listen to me. And I hope that, again, you got some kind of value or takeaway from this, because that's my goal every time. But other than that, all the stuff that I talked about in this episode will be linked down below. Follow me on Instagram, Holistic Hanna. And until next time, let me know if you guys want a specific person or topic on. I do listen to that, so DM me. Also, screenshot this episode if you liked it and share it on Instagram. I love seeing that so much. But okay, I will let you guys go for now, and I hope you have a wonderful day.